There are many different textiles available today. Some of them are commonly known and some of them are not. The origins of some textiles, like cotton or wool, are common knowledge. However, the makeup, use, origin, and environmental impact of most textiles remain a mystery to the average person. As it is my mission to bring back sewing into common knowledge, part of that mission, I think, should include at least a basic understanding of what is available to work with. As a self-taught seamstress, I do not know a lot about certain textiles, so in this series we'll be learning together. Hello, my classy crafters, my name is Heather and welcome once again to the Mythros channel. In this video, we will be discussing Lyocell fabric, what it is, where it comes from, and what it's good for. Let's get started. Lyocell is a semi-synthetic fabric and part of the rayon family. It's not 100% natural like cotton or wool, but it's not 100% synthetic like polyester. It's made by breaking down the pulp of hardwood trees, which is then treated to extract the cellulose from said pulp, which is then reconstituted into fiber. If you're not a scientist, it's just a bizarre process. How it's made. Hardwood trees like birch or oak are used, and they're chipped, meaning they're broken into tiny pieces. Then they're mixed with chemicals in vats to create soft wood pulp. The pulp is then removed from the chemicals and rinsed clean. Then they spread it out into sheets to dry. Then these dry sheets are cut into small pieces and submerged into amine oxide, or amine oxide. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. These vats are pressurized and heated, and this digests the wood pulp. This step ends with a clear liquid, which is the cellulose of the hardwood. Then the cellulose liquid is forced through spinnerets to create long fibers. Then the fibers are soaked once again in amino acid, but it's a diluted form, and then they're washed. Finally, these fibers of reconstituted hardwood cellulose are treated like any other fiber. They're carded and then knit or woven to become a textile. So, where did this come from? Fabrics derived from cellulose have actually been around for over 200 years, and they've been in mass production since the beginning of the 20th century, so quite a while. Originally, these fibers got created as a substitute for silk, a cheaper substitute for silk, and the inventors were actually trying to imitate what silkworms do, which I guess is where they got this spinneret idea from. Lyocell is one of the newest of these cellulose-based fabrics, and it was invented in California in 1972. Now, Lyocell is a kind of rayon, and rayon is a semi-synthetic fabric, and it has a whole host of problems when it comes to the environment. But Lyocell is unique in that it is one of the simplest of the rayon fabrics to create, and it causes very little waste. You may have heard of this fabric referred to as Tencel. Tencel is chemically the same as Lyocell. Lyocell is the kind of fabric, Tencel is the brand. It's highly likely that if you've ever used anything made of Lyocell, it was actually Tencel from Lensing AG. They are the global leaders. So what are the pros of Lyocell fabric? It's soft, it's absorbent, it's very strong when wet or dry, it's resistant to wrinkles. They say it's more resistant to pilling, but I also read that in order to be resistant to pilling, it needs to be treated with chemicals, which takes away a little bit of its environmentally friendly status. It drapes really well and can simulate the textures of silk, suede, and leather. And it plays well with others. It's easy to mix with cotton or silk or different rayons. But for me, the biggest pro is that it can be produced in a closed loop, which means it's fairly environmentally friendly. If you source the raw materials sustainably and use the closed loop Lyocell method, this fabric can be very environmentally friendly. So what are the cons? Well, one of the big ones is it doesn't take dye well, and this is actually a big problem. Industrial dyeing practices cause a lot of waste and environmental degradation. I plan to do a video on that in the future, so stay tuned. So if it doesn't take dye well, that probably means it needs more heat or more dye, and that either means energy and or chemicals. Another con, it has a tendency to pill. Yes, I just said it's resistant to pilling, but if it's not treated, it has a tendency to pill. Another con, it's susceptible to mildew, and people with chemical sensitivities may be bothered by it because it's made with so many chemicals and it needs to be treated for things like pilling, sometimes to make it soft to use for garments. So if your skin is sensitive to those kind of chemicals, you might be allergic to this. So, what's the impact on the environment? 99% of the amino oxide that's used in 2 steps of the process to make lyocell fabric can be recovered. And, apparently, amino oxide is non-toxic to humans. I don't know about plants and animals, but at least it's not going to hurt us directly. A big problem with creating rayon fabrics, it can be quite toxic to the people who are working in the factories. So the fact that amino oxide is non-toxic to human is actually quite important. What I don't know though is how many times can it be reused? Like, does amino oxide wear out? Can you just keep on using it forever? Do you only have to buy it once? I don't know. Reported waste products in the air and water from the lyocell closed loop process are reported as minimal and negligible. Apparently, lyocell fibers can be recycled, they're biodegradable, and they can be digested in sewage. So, like, apparently you can put lyocell fabric into a water treatment plant and within a couple days it will be dissolved. Oh, in 8 days it can be dissolved. What is it used for? Lyocell, turns out, is used for a lot of things. For example, conveyor belts. Conveyor belts that are made from lyocell fabric are more resistant to wear and tear and last longer. Because lyocell fabric is strong, absorbent, and tensile, it's actually used quite a bit for medical dressings. More and more, apparently. As well as a filtration material. I'm not sure what it's filtering, but it's used for filtration in some capacity. And some people believe it's more useful than cotton. And what is it like to work with? I don't know. I own 1 pair of pants made from Tencel fabric, so the branded Lyocell, and they're very soft. They haven't shrunk. I've only worn them a couple times because they're too long for me. I have not hemmed them yet. Plus they're summer pants and it's winter now. So, have you ever encountered this textile before? What were your thoughts and feelings? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and sew you later.